electronically. It was never cured with medication. It wasn't cured by oncologists. It wasn't cured by the Cancer Society. It wasn't cured by collecting millions and billions and trillions of dollars like they're doing through the pharmaceutical companies trying to design something that will kill the cancer. Because cancer is a lot of things. Cancer is not just cancer. There's not one particular virus that causes cancer. There's any number of things that cause cancer. The doctors don't even know you have cancer until you say, I'm coughing up blood. I got a lump on my breast. I got a headache. My testicle hurts. I feel like I'm passing blood. And then the doctor takes an x-ray, does some blood tests. He finds that your protein counts are up, and he says, you got cancer. First thing they do is they cut on you. First thing they do is they cut on you. They take that biopsy, they run it into the lab. They don't even close you up. They don't even close you up. They run it into the lab, and they'll take everything that they can right there. Well, how do you know that had cancer? I've talked to doctors. Well, it had a gelatinous appearance. Well, how do you know it was benign or not? It had a gelatinous appearance. So we took the ovaries and we took the uterus. Oh, by the way, we were so close to the gallbladder, we took that too. I mean, this is a practicing oncologist at one of the finest hospitals in the South. That's his prognosis. That's his diagnosis. I don't even want to talk about that. Okay. Chinese medicine, on the other hand. I'm not here to sell Chinese medicine, but I became a believer in Chinese medicine. Is Chinese medicine hoodoo voodoo? Is it art or is it science? Body and organ energy. Yin yang. Hear of yin yang? Yin yang is the force of energy that goes up and down, one through the right side, one through the left side. Down, up through the right side, down through the left side. Positive, negative. When yin and yang are in balance, according to old Chinese tradition, and you know, those Orientals been around a lot longer than we have in terms of a recorded history. I don't want to get into genetics or racial things, but they have a recorded history of over 7,000 years. Been there, seen it. So they have come a long way. But they deal with it through Chinese acupuncture. And who knows where it began, who knows how it evolved to where it is today, but today is a conglomeration of what they call traditional, ancient Chinese acupuncture and something with a modern flair to it. In any event, there's 12 major meridian points that go through your whole body. There's 5 elements. There's 3,000 acupuncture points that they use to stick their needles in, and it's an open loop system. An open loop system is you do something and you have to wait to see if anything happens. An open loop system says, how you feeling? Does that feel better? Open loop system says, I don't know if I'm doing anything here. So he keeps putting needles in until the guy gets the right effect. Now there's a real art to doing that, because you can hit a point and be, you know, just a gnat's hair off, and it won't close the meridian loop. So you don't, you know, these acupuncturists spend years studying these points. Well, we've got a better way. We got a better way. Because we can see electronically. See, they made it into a science. They had to wait for you to say something. But what if you're comatose? What if you can't talk? What if you had a stroke? And he's doing all this stuff. You don't know whether you're feeling better or not. Now, he can tell by sometimes the muscle reflex, but he doesn't know. We know. Body has meridians, a superhighway through the body. I take 50 points, and I look at them electronically. You hold an electrode in one hand, and I'll touch you with another probe. You won't feel a thing. And you don't have all this stuff sticking out of your body. And I will touch points on your hands and on your feet. Only 3 places in the hand and 3 places in the feet. Everything else is on the appendage. For example, if I touch that with a probe and you have an electrode here, I am looking at your whole lymph system. Your whole lymph system. If it's out of balance, it'll tell me you're out of balance. What does that mean? Well, if it's out of balance high, it means you've got an infection, generally caused by bacteria. If it's out of balance low, it means that your immune system has kind of given up, and it's working on, your immune system doesn't have enough juice to even cause an infection because it's not surrounded with white blood corpuscles and antigens and all the other things in your body that would go kind of attack this thing that's hurting. Because remember, only you heal yourself. So I can look at your heart, each kidney. I can look at every valve in your heart. I can look at your brain stem. I can look at your vertebrae. I can look at each testicle, each of your ovaries. I can look at your uterus. I can look at your each lung, your bronchi. I can look at your thyroid. I can look at your pineal valve. I can look at pineal gland. I can look at all your glands, and I can tell whether they're out of balance. I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm just looking to see if they're in balance or not. And if they're not in balance, then I go to the next step, and we'll talk about that later. But the point I'm making is I can look at anything in your body, and I can see things before a doctor sees things. And in fact, in many instances, even though I don't like doctors very much, they do some good. People will have such a problem. I say, you've got something going on in your lower intestine. I don't know what that is. My system doesn't tell me anything that's going on there, but you are in trouble there. I don't know what it is. Have you been having gas? Are you passing blood? Do you get stomach cramps? And if they can't tell me anything, I say, you got to go to a doctor. You should go to a doctor because I'm not able to deal with this. And I hate to do it because most things I'm willing to give it a go. But if I'm not comfortable, know your limitations. Don't take anything for granted, because no matter what I do, I cannot hurt you in any way. No matter what treatment you come to me for, I run you through any or all of this, you will not be affected by it, except in a good way, never a negative way. So, what happens? Your immune system. Your immune system works every day, chugga, chugga, chugga. It's like the train that could, or the engine that could. I can't. Pretty soon the immune system says I can't. So I kind of characterize it by being a funnel of bad stuff going into the immune system, generally first in, first out. Well, eventually the funnel overflows. Okay. Now the stuff that the immune system deals with, what happens to the bad stuff? All the toxins and stuff that your immune system deals with. It comes out in your sweat glands, it comes out in your urine, it comes out in your fecal matter when you go potty, when you spit, and through your sinuses. That's how, and sometimes through your tears. So when your immune system's working, your nose will run a little more. You're sweating and it's coming out there. Maybe you get a different body odor. It's toxins coming out of your body. That's how your immune system deals with it. But if your immune system is overloaded and it isn't working, where does it overflow to? This stuff sits and ferments. These toxins and bacteria and viruses, they collect and they go places. They like to lay on the valve of your heart, giving your doctor the impression that you need a bypass surgery or you need a valve replacement, when all you got to do is kill that bacteria or kill that virus. Coxsackie 6 is a virus that just loves to hang on the valve of the heart at the hinge. And guess what happens? It doesn't allow the valve to close all the way. And when the doctor listens or he does a sonic ultrasound, he sees blood passing by your heart valve. He says, oh, this is bad. We got to replace that valve or that hinge. And they do it. Yeah. It's like $80,000. More. I've dealt with at least 4 people that have had the same problem, that they've been diagnosed by their doctor. They said, geez, I don't know if I have to do this. That was the first person. 3 other people came and I dealt with them. I killed that Coxsackie. They go to the doctor the next day. He said, what happened? What'd you do? It's not there anymore. Huh. I mean, it's almost instantaneous on that. So what happens? All the crud overflows and you get tumors, you get canker sores, you get zoster herpes, you get shingles, you get tumors, you get stuff. You get stuff. You get plaque in your blood. You get, excess sputum. The immune system isn't strong enough to deal with everything all at once. And so you get overflow. So what you have to do is keep that immune system cooking every day. All senses are vibrations carried to the brain. I'm jumping from viruses and bacteria because I want to impress on you that everything is a frequency. There is stuff going on in this room we can't even see because it's operating at a different frequency. I happen to believe that where people see apparitions and call them ghosts, call them spirits, call them whatever, I believe that they're operating in a level like a dog does or an eagle. They're seeing stuff that maybe you can't see. I mean, 2 people can be in, don't you see that? I don't see that. I don't hear it. I don't hear any buzzes. I've had friends that, can't you hear that buzz or hear that? No, I can't hear it. I'm insensitive. I guess I'm just too goofy. I don't stretch out there and look at those things. But they exist. I believe they exist. They're just on a different frequency. They're just slightly out of our realm of seeing them. So, this is a poor excuse for an eye. But when your eye looks at something, you think you see something, don't you? You think this eye sees something. This eye doesn't see anything. This eye is only sensing vibrations. Those vibrations are going to the back of the eye optic nerve, which transmits that vibration to your brain. And your brain interprets it. Your eye doesn't see anything. Your eye has a lens where it can focus on the frequency and the color span and the objects, if you will. And the lens acts like a lens in a camera. It focuses in and out through your pupil. But it doesn't see anything. Your brain interprets it. As a matter of fact, the information that gets to the brain is upside down. Did you know that? Like in a camera. Did you ever take a camera and it comes back upside down, right? You're looking, it's upside down. Well, that's what's happening here. But your brain, unless you're dyslexic, sees it right side up. So we live in a right side up world. When you hear something, we know that's a vibration because all that's happening is your eardrums going ying, 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 right? So that's okay. But when you touch something, that's a frequency. Heat, touch, cold, everything is an oscillating frequency. Your finger doesn't feel anything. You want to make a bet? Sever your spine. Finger doesn't feel anything, does it? It doesn't. But if the brain sees the finger laying on something cold, the brain will say, it must be cold even though I can't feel it because that's ice. If it had a notion of, or it had felt it before. Okay? Smell. What is smell? It's an oscillating frequency. Is anybody here allergic to aromas? This is an aroma that was highly used during the bubonic plague area by gypsies and royalty. You notice that nobody in royalty died during the bubonic plague? Did you know that? No royals died during the bubonic plague. Europe was decimated. How many millions? 80 million people died? I think that was about a third of the population. This is what they used. Plus one other fragrance. You know what that is? It's lavender. It's lavender. It's nice, isn't it? It's an immune system builder. So the way they first started ridding Europe of the disease was they burned everything. Then they brought in the cats. Did you know that? They brought in the cats to eat the rats that brought the fleas. And then the royals used lavender with the gypsies. That's how they got rid of bubonic plague finally. Didn't know that, did you? Okay, so everything that we sense is through our brain. And our body only exists to provide nourishment and information to the brain and to perambulate or walk around this planet to get from one place to another so we don't get bored sitting in a little jar with our brain. But our body is only to help our brain. And our brain senses everything through the body through frequency only. Frequency, electronic waves. Music. You heard me play this music earlier. Puts in harmony. My wife and I go to sleep with this every night. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what kind of day we've had, when we hit the pillow, we do a little reading, and when we hit the pillow and turn that on low, not like that, in 15 minutes longest, you're out, gone, and restful. That plays for about an hour and a half. It's beautiful. Your body just wants to just flow with it. It's wonderful. So we know that harmonics and sounds can make you cry. Do you ever listen to a beautiful, you ever listen to a beautiful piece of classical music that would bring you to tears, or maybe something that you heard when you were growing up, and or that brought back memories, good memories of where you were, you know? So it's that sound, it's that combination of sounds, it's that harmonic. Music can make you laugh, it can make you cry, it can make you dance. Do you ever see a baby who has never seen their parents dance, and you put on some, kind of bangy rock and roll music or polka music or something? They'll sit there, I don't care what race they're from, they'll try and dance to it. It wants to make them dance because there's something in the rhythm and the music that wants to make them dance. It can help you sleep, like this, or there is some stuff that can make you very, very upset and unsettling. There's sounds and musics and combinations of notes that will agitate you. You just want to get away from it, right? These things are affecting every nerve, every cell in your body, every bit of it. So these are harmonics which are pleasing. These are harmonics which are displeasing. 18-wheelers, weep, 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 weep. The fire engine, oh, we love that, don't we? It makes your stomach kind of jump because you think a cop's going to pull you over. So we have light. We've gone through the sound thing, the music and the harmony, and I'll shut that off. We have light. We have good light, which is our sunlight, was provided to be good for us. And we have incandescent lights, which is good light. Incandescent light is good light. It's fairly natural. It emits a frequency that is pleasing to us. These lights are bad. We should never have them. I don't care how efficient they are, how inexpensive they are to operate. They are bad for us. They emit frequencies that upset our psyche. Strobe lights are very bad. Strobe lights will cause an epileptic to go into an epileptic fit probably 4 or 5 out of 10 times if they see it. I've seen it happen over and over again. Low-level laser, good light. It's great for pain. I put this on on your arthritis or a painful hip or a headache. You will have instant relief, or at least within 3 minutes. Good laser light. High-level lasers, good and bad. We use it to punch holes in things, and we can use it to destroy a tank. So, I don't know. You can take your pick with that. Okay, sizes by comparison. Let's say a parasite. I'm just picking I had to start somewhere. So, a parasite, worms and ticks are this size times 100. I didn't want to fill up the whole page. Bacteria is about this size compared to that times 100 in size comparison. A virus, Ebola, is about that size compared to that. Okay, molds and yeast and candida and funguses lay somewhere in the bacteria to even smaller range. As a matter of fact, there's a school of thinking that says if you explode a virus like we do through these pieces of equipment, it is likely that some of them can turn into fungus. And there is a school of thought in Canada among practitioners such as myself and even medical doctors who practice with this stuff, believe it or not they do, and dentists use it a lot because they use it to find teeth problems. The school of thought that the next great plague in the world is going to be a fungus plague because fungus is hard to kill. And they live anywhere. They like dark, moist places. And we're dark and moist. So they like to live in us. Okay, we got molds, yeast, and candida. Okay. So, I'm skipping around. You don't mind, do you? Okay. If you want to take a break for a minute and get some refreshment, we'll just take a minute.